Welcome to Remnant 101 at the City on a Hill Church. I'm Associate Pastor Benji Lalayan. God's remnant is spiritually mature. I have a couple of verses that I want to read in Hebrews chapter 5, verses 12 through 14. It says, "For though by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you again the first principles of the oracles of God, and you have come to need milk and not solid food. For everyone who partakes only of milk is unskilled in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But solid food belongs to those who are full of age, that is, those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil." So these verses are in Hebrews. Now let's start by briefly recapping some of the major principles in Hebrews that we've gone over before. Don't sell your birthright. Lay aside every weight to run the race. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. Now, these principles, among many others, represent the solid food mentioned in the verses that I read. Now, all of that being in Hebrews, put that together with the verses that I started with, and you come to the conclusion that those solid food principles are essential for a Christian and can only be understood and acted on by maturing past the milk. But the majority of the church world wants to keep everything as simple and basic as possible, going no further than saying a few words to claim accepting Jesus into your heart. Now, what we've been stressing is that that's the very beginning of everything, and now you can and need to walk in holiness. That beginning represents the milk that I mentioned in the verses that I read. And it's still necessary because you have to start somewhere. But without maturing, you're stuck on that milk because that's all that your spirit can handle. A physical baby can't handle solid food in the flesh. I know, I have kids of my own. In this same principle, a Christian stuck at the beginning, satisfied with having said a few words to accept Jesus, will not understand or comprehend the solid food, such as the principles in Hebrews I mentioned earlier. That makes him no better than a spiritual baby, unskilled in righteousness. What's scary about that is the "there are few who find it" principle by the words of Jesus himself that we've been stressing so much right now. And the key word there is find. A baby can't find anything. It has to be given to him. For one who is unskilled in righteousness, how can he choose to go after holiness? This means going through the narrow gate that leads to life, seeing the Lord. They need maturing. Christians have to embrace going beyond the milk, beyond the simple and the basic, pursuing maturity, craving and seeking more from the Word of God, and praying for wisdom and discernment so they can intake the solid food, to the point where they now can go after holiness and find grace in the eyes of God like Noah. Because now they can handle those principles and have the ability to find. They now understand that without holiness, they won't see God, giving them a drive and a desire to seek and find the narrow gate. A baby trying to grow up will go through trial and error, but that's what happens when you go beyond the simple and basic. Don't worry about falling down while trying to walk. Keep pursuing maturity. The people of this ministry are proof that those who reach spiritual maturity, and they not only pursue holiness, but also reap benefits and supernatural blessings that you wouldn't believe. God bless you.